Pablo, do you think kids are tougher or not as tough now than they were when you were a kid?
Mentally tougher, not physically tougher.
Okay. You think that there needs a little toughening up sometimes?
Yes. Yeah.
Little
I
tough
sound like
love.
an old man, yeah.
Little tough love.
Yes, sir.
Roller?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
this new generation, a little soft for me.
So here, this is an interesting...
Pause right here.
Little soft. Hey, when you were 120 pounds in Miami, Florida, you had to be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see here's what I
had to
did.
take a
Because I wrestled at I wrestled at 127 my junior year. So I was not a big kid.
Right.
But here was my trick. I was like a chihuahua. I was just, everybody thought I was crazy. So nobody wanted to mess with me because they just thought I was crazy enough to do anything. And it helped me survive because I had a big mouth. I know that shocks everybody.
Yeah, me too. I was the little guy that started the fights and then stood off to the side and went,
No, I would jump on the pile. I was the one that, I was, yeah. You know.
So when you wrestled, you would just run around and just.
No, and I'm talking about when I was like out on the weekends with my friends.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? People just thought I was crazy, so they left me alone. You know what I mean? It wasn't worth it. Does that make sense?
Yes,
it wasn't worth it.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's not worth my time, kid.
There were a couple of exceptions where people just decided, let's see. And I woke up with a knot on my forehead.
Right.
But, it's what you do when you're a teenager. Here's why I'm asking. The Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, is considering reversing a ban on what they call shark attack. It is we've all seen Full Metal Jacket. We've all seen the military. If you've not watched the documentaries, it is when there's a great documentary, a 3-part documentary about buds training for SEALs, basic underwater demolition training. And they just run these guys through hell just to see if mentally they're tough enough to get past whatever stops them.
to not ring the bell.
Right, just not to ring the bell. And they start off with hundreds of guys, and they end up with a dozen or whatever, but they are left with the cream of the crop. Well, Hegseth, they've gotten away from what they call swarming, where it is a bunch of drill sergeants around a recruit screaming in their face and yelling, and they called it psychologically that it was damaging. It said it starts in basic training. It starts at our military academies. Hegseth said Thursday during an appearance on the Will Cain show on Fox News. We're going back to the basics. Drill sergeants will be drill sergeants with knife hands who maintain good order and discipline, who train up great recruits, who make great formations, just like we need military officers with the same rigorous discipline and background. So we're going back to the basics, and it's bearing fruit. Good idea or bad idea?
I think it's a good idea. Prior to 9/11, we used to vacation over at Coronado.
Yeah.
And when my boys were small and my son eventually went into the Navy, we used to literally go stand feet away from the recruits that were trying to become SEALs.
Yep.
And they had the boats over their shoulders. And of course, now after 9/11, you can't get that close to them. But rigorous training and. I think, back to basics. I don't think that can hurt.
What's interesting about this conversation is everybody says it's horrible when they go through it, but they are so proud of themselves when they get on the other side. There is a true accomplishment in something so difficult. When, for us, I remember, as dumb as this will sound, playing Pop Warner football where 60 kids were trying out, 12 years old, 60 12-year-olds are trying out for a 30-kid roster to make that roster and going through August 1st is when Pop Warner practice starts. Getting through that and being able to say that I made the team was a huge accomplishment. So I think there is something to that.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Tap to watch and listen to the new season of Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast. You can also click the button in the middle to subscribe.